Hey, welcome back to Spilled Ink, the Comics Wellspring live drawing show. And I'm your host, Brandon Blocksdorf. And of course, always with me is my amazing co-host, Max Flowers. Hello, Max.
Hi.
And of course, we always have some sort of special guest, and we're reaching up to the north for this one. And we have our amazing, lovable, astonishing friend from Canada, Mr. Doug Knight. Hello, Doug.
What's going on, guys?
Hey. How you been, Doug?
I'm good. I'm experiencing some very cool moments in life right now.
Yeah, you're doing some cool stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I got invited out to an artist residency on Toronto Island. So it's like this piece of like the city of Toronto that's, I don't know, maybe a kilometer south on the lake. And it's really cool. So it's like this little secluded art community. It's very neat.
How rad.
Yeah, so I'm here for a week and a half and making some comics and making some art and pushing some projects.
Love it. That's we'll get into that all right now. Bristol Media Group says I love Doug Knight. That's my guy. Greetings from Bristol Media Group.
Hello to New York.
Nice. That's really cool. So like how did you get this residency, and like what advice can you give about getting residencies?
Well, I think that so I was invited to it because it's offered for um, disabled members of the BIPOC community um, to be able to have an opportunity to both rest and work on their projects. Um, so I met the one of the individuals who runs it through a few connections, like through the murals that I did. I got the lead through them, and then they saw how hardcore I was working to promote my project circulation grant, and I think it was an indicator that like I wouldn't squander the opportunity of being here. So that's kind of how it all came to fruition. But I think that a lot of it is just because like I've been doing the work to be seen by people who recognize the game and the hustle. So it's cool. So it's neat to be surrounded by people who have you know similar visual disabilities, similar life experiences. Um, yeah, it's been very cool couple days.
Ooh, dude, that's like I've always wanted to look into those. We have one here. Maybe you could look into one. The one here in Winchester. It's really, really awesome, and they have a great building and a great facility. And you can run workshops and whatnot too, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's sick.
I should get you a link to that because that'd be sick. They the place you stay at is gorgeous as well.
Yeah, that's been kind of the really cool thing about here is that room board and there's even a caterer that's out here too. So like food's covered. Like
Yeah,
it's been pretty unbelievable.
yeah, and they're hard to get into, and they're kind of hard to come across more in the States. I feel that are that supportive. A lot of the times they just cover almost nothing.
Base,
So
right?
how does it work with like like keeping up with like anything else like
Bill?
day job type of stuff? Yeah.
Well, I've been preparing for this for a few months, so I was able to obviously have the things in place to take care of the cell phone and hydro and water and all that jazz.
Nice.
And also honestly, like because I work as hard as I do, like I was prepared to not come to this at all, but it was my incredible wife who like really like she one day she's like stop goofing around. This is a crazy opportunity for you. Like go. I was like, but the kids and you, and she's like, we're gonna be here when you get back. You hope.
That's awesome.
And you know, and so like I wouldn't be here without like her having my back on it because my priority is being accountable and being there for my family the whole time. So um, it was cool for her just to be like, do it. Like it's not gonna happen anytime soon again. So seize the opportunity, seize the card.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So it's just all about preparation, making sure you're ready to do this. And, it's it's still roughing it in a sense, but it's like roughing it in a good way, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like at the end of the day, this is supposed to be an opportunity to relax and reflect, and you know, get ready for the next steps and whatever, like produce art and stuff. But like my head's always in the game in terms of like making sure that the family's good, and um, you know, it's hard. You don't turn that part off, so it's part of the. It's like going on vacation anywhere, right? You got to like learn how to be on vacation for a couple days before you enjoy it, and then you got to fly home. So, um, you know, it's cool. It's a very cool experience. It's again, it's like that. I think so many times we've all talked about like the legitimacy of like what becoming a professional artist is and stuff, and like getting invited to work somewhere for a couple weeks is pretty friggin' legit. Like you might not get accepted to a pro table, but you definitely can't scoff at that on a resume saying that you were invited amongst however many people out there, right?
Hmm.
So it's
That's
pretty
like,
cool.
what have you been like? So, what's going on project wise, goal wise for you? Like, what are you hoping to complete here? Like, what do you what are your plans?
So I've put together a sample script for one of those big publishing houses.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I'm just kind of assembling that now, and I'm going to get that submitted soon and see if anything comes of that. Um, so I kind of put a stop work on everything else that I had going on, so I could like give that my heart and soul. It's unpaid, obviously, when you get a sample script, but um, I think that is a cool thing. It was a cool exercise at the very least.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so I got that going on, and then tomorrow I'm going to spend the day penciling Chiasm Part 3 and really put the pedal to the metal on that. I've got some cool ideas for that, and I think like even just like while I'm here, I want to accomplish as many like hand painted and inked pages as possible, so that like when I when I drop the book, it's gonna have like a really cool like style shift at one point, and like they'll do like a little blurb of why it shifted so dramatically. Um,
Hmm.
but I think I'm gonna do it in a section of story where like it makes sense that like it switched. Um, so it's gonna be
Right.
cool. I'll like it. I don't know about you guys. I'll be happy with it. And
That's
at the end
all
of the
that
day, isn't it
matters.
only about serving ourselves?
Well, I guess it's about the audience, but yeah, we go that way, Doug. Whatever makes you feel. No kidding. um,
um,
yeah, it's so sick though. I'm so hyped to hear about all that.
yeah, thanks, guys. Um, yeah, and then just focusing on mastering this one brush technique. It's been really fun.
One
Um,
brush technique. Tell me about that. What are you doing there?
just using one brush for everything. Like that.
Nice. Simple.
Yeah. Um,
What brush is it?
it's that number 2 round red sable Kolinsky number 7 from Winsor and Newton.
Yeah, the classic.
A classic. I had to order it up to Canada.
Those guys aren't cheap though.
No, it was like I got it on sale for $45 Canadian, but like it's listed regular for like I don't know 72 or something like that. It's crazy. But it's cool. Like when you paint with it, you're like, oh, I feel so special for being able to use this. Like I'm sure I could do the same thing with any other brush once I get good at it. But um, you know, Winsy Newton, they do some cool stuff.
Interesting. Okay, that's so cool. I want to look. I don't have any Windsor Noon stuff, but I need to snag something soon.
Yeah, I went a little hog wild. I bought their so a little while ago I got like their Cotman is like their second from the top tier of watercolor paints. And I was like, this is fun. And then I saw there's a professional. I was like, I'm a professional. Um, so I went and I spent the cash on that, and like it was worth it again just because like that the coverage and everything just like paints a little bit different than the average half pan of watercolor. So that's been really cool too. Is just focusing on like again, just like brush stability and technique, and learning how to like get my watercolor mastery down, and stepping away from the iPad a little bit.
Nice. That's super great. I mean, that's always, we were just talking about that recently, like wanting to alternate between digital and traditional art, just to like kind of build yourself on both of them. It's like a good skill set to have no matter what.
Yeah, power's gonna go out one day. That's why Max moved to Alaska.
Yeah, probably the most unstable power.
You've clearly never lived in Stouffville.
I don't know. We rely on Canada for like our internet and our electricity to some extent, and like everything. It's crazy.
Is it 7:15?
Either of you ever been to Niagara Falls before?
No, I've been close to it, but I haven't been there yet.
So you can do a tour of the hydroelectric station that's down there, and that's trippy. When you see how much power gets generated into those like turbines and everything.
Yeah, a lot of ours is hydropower as well.
Make that waterfall work for you.
We get so much rain here, like you'd be crazy not to.
Is it pretty dreary up in A-Town, Alaska Town? I guess it's not A-Town.
Oh,
it's
man.
A-Town.
It's getting darker, faster.
Oh yeah.
More rain. When you step outside, it's like a marshland. Yeah, it's getting dreary wintertime for sure.
That's insane.
Beep, 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 beep. And what else we got? We got a project called It's a Horror Show dropping soon.
Ooh, yeah, we announced a new book today. Dude, we've been working really hard on this horror anthology, and I mean, I say this with every book, but like, it is the coolest book we've put out so far. It's mind-blowing. People's submissions were insane. It's like the coolest story I've had printed yet. Like, it's just wild beyond belief. So many talented creators on it, man. And Jade is just working on certain stuff right now. It's so exciting. I said excitingly because I was typing Riddler because I'm gonna need a reference for Riddler.
I was jumping on the poster thing, but I got sidetracked by trying to build a career.
You should draw it there. Just throw down on the picture.
I got plans, man. I overpacked for this so hard because I didn't know what paper I wanted to get or to bring and stuff, and like what mediums I was going to work in. So it's like that. I've got so many choices situation. So I ended up getting a pad of Arches, like the heavy duty watercolor paper, and then like custom cutting all my sizes. So I have like an abundance of options. It's kind of fun. It's fun to be like a kid in the candy store with what you want to work on next.
Nice. Dude, that's so exciting.
I finished. I started and finished that Spider-Man Shocker Miles Morales thing.
Yeah, I've been watching you do that.
So I did. I made like a little cover that I'm going to submit with it. I finished that today. I think it took me about 6 hours or so. Beep, 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 beep. How's your Inktober been? Have you guys been consistent?
Yeah, I'm staying a day ahead.
Whoa.
Yeah, killing it.
That's better than me and my Duolingo.
And I remembered to not do today's so that I could do it live today.
But just to be efficient, you did tomorrow's?
Yes.
I knew it.
Of course.
It's incredible.
And today's is fun. Today's is metal band.
Yeah, I was gonna I thought I had a gunslinger spawn, so I was gonna like a blank that I was going to draw on. And that would have been cool, just because I did it before for Spawnuary, where I had them all mashed on as a metal band, but I left it at home. So I'm going with this here Irizumi style splinter.
There you go.
I'm gonna do. I just penciled my alien, so I'm gonna ink that right now. But I want to try to draw out this Riddler really quick, so I have a little idea, so I can catch up because I'm like 4 days behind Inktober. So I'm hoping to make the Riddler kind of simple but fun. And hopefully I could just knock out some stuff tonight.
Awesome.
Yeah. Let's see how it
Splinter
goes.
is one of my favorite characters from the Turtles stuff.
Unsung hero. His representation in Mutant Mayhem was sick.
Yeah, I love
True.
that movie too. Yeah, I love that movie. That's like the only Turtles thing I really get attracted to. Not gonna lie.
They let those guys at it that like actually give a shit.
Seth Rogen does pretty good at adapting comics and whatnot. His involvement is always very positive.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad they switched over for him to do the Spawn.
The Spawn.
Yeah,
What? No, they
I'm
didn't.
just trying to make clickbait.
Dude, that would be sick though. I would have been all over that though. You know that.
him as clown. Spawn.
Oh, we have Lee saying looking good, Mr. Knight.
Ooh, that's my honey. Yeah, so that means that the kids are probably watching. So hi kids. Everybody say hi Tyson. Hi Ronnie. Tyson came in 4th at his cross country meet the other day. Want to talk about
Hey yo.
pride as a parent watching your little guy top out like 75 other booger eating grade 4s. Pretty cool.
Nice.
I know I
That's
couldn't
awesome.
run like that when I was 9.
I couldn't either.
I was
Me either,
portly,
yeah.
flat-footed, and I had already given up. Actually, that's not true. At 9, I thought I could still do it, and nobody sat down and said, "Buddy, it's over."
Sorry, I'm focusing so hard because I'm trying to like get this done.
Don't hurt yourself, buddy.
So, how do you like? Are you looking for grants and stuff too? You're looking for like, the whole package in terms of like grants, residencies, things like that.
I don't know about I think the residencies are really cool as opportunities that come your way. I personally am not going to be like actively seeking them because I honestly it's not just because my wife and kids are watching. Like it sucks not being at home and this is such a cool opportunity to be able to like sit here and paint in 1,000 square foot empty room that used to be a classroom. Like it's a really cool opportunity, but I'd be just as happy to do this for 2 hours less to put my kids to bed. But the grants are super useful for buying the time to do it, and for like touring and stuff. So luckily, this is a very like grant heavy program that they're running here. So we're gonna have a couple meetings on how to build sure for success grant applications and stuff. And once I know that too, then I hope to apply that information for my colleagues in lesser known comics and stuff. Because there's grant organizations everywhere. And I feel like even I'm sure I know now like a couple artists that are doing pro books and stuff, and they could probably benefit from getting some grants just so they can have something that allows them to sit guilt free and work on their stuff.
Yeah, because it's a hard industry, and there's not a lot of I would say there's probably not a lot of like comic specific grants right?
No.
Or residencies.
No, there's literature
Few.
grants, right?
Yeah.
There's literature grants, and those are like your like what you want to target. But again, it's not like that's where that person that has the idea for the book can't be the one that like goes after it. It's got to be the person that's like creating the book and doing the work and writing it and drawing it. You know, like that makes it a lot easier. Sorry, Brandon. Um, you're doing all the right work. You're learning how to draw. We'll get there. I just realized the way that I'm inking Splinter's face and it's coming out as like how a printer does it, where it's like it just reveals itself like a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, duh, dummy, that's how inking works. But yeah, so like I think just like the grant opportunities, like applying for literary and traveling grants and stuff, and obviously like being good about when you do get the support and like acknowledging that stuff. Like I know that my feed has become very heavy towards thanking the people that have given me the opportunity to travel across country and to the States and stuff, and like damn well should be. It's cool that you can like a lot of people apply for these things, and so when you can get selected to be a representative, like it is an honor. Like check your hubris and be appreciative. So shouting them out and making some advertising is the absolute bare minimum I could do, because I want to have like a good long-term relationship, so that it's that you see artists, you're like, how the hell are you like successful forever? And that's how, because they learned how to do that, and they get support from several different sources. Like there's Canadian grants, there's like the country of Canada has grants, there's provincial grants, there's like local, like regional grants. So there's opportunities everywhere. You just have to be patient and suck it up and do the paperwork and the budgeting and stuff. But the cool thing is like there's literacy grants where it's like, it's basically them putting, like they would then have the opportunity to put an ad in whatever you get printed and stuff, which is pretty cool too, because it's, like it's you getting advertising, like it's somebody like supporting you, it's cool. It's a good
Yeah,
opportunity.
it's certainly something that I'd like to explore more, because travel is also very hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not only like leaving Milo and stuff like that,
And
but, like,
Bunny.
yeah, but like economically, right? It's very difficult
Yeah.
because of where I
Yeah.
live.
Well, I mean,
So
yeah.
so yeah, trying to hunt down that stuff, or like I have like a lot of like um things that I want to do to grow the business too, especially on like the technology and equipment side,
Mm-hmm.
like printers and machines that are going to be able to help me like DIY make books and DIY make stickers and do all those things, because that equipment, like good quality stuff, is really expensive.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. I'm looking for opportunities, and I take them where I can. But yeah, you do have to suck it up and do the paperwork. It's comics isn't just sitting at a table and drawing pretty pictures.
It should be.
It should be, but it's not. It's a lot of business. A lot of business.
Now, I will say the cool thing is that like the project circulation grant did me really good for 2024. Like obviously, I got some really cool opportunities out of it. I got to meet some great people and be in some cool spots. But what I got from it, moreover, was just like the understanding of budget, and like, when I resubmit, like it strengthens your knowledge, like just doing it the first time, like going through that the first time, and now I know exactly what things cost, and I know exactly how far from an event I want to be. And like, I was speaking about this today, where it's like you can book a room, say for $75 less a night, right? That's like 20 minutes away from the event. But if you have to Uber back and forth, and that's going to be, $80 a day, then why not just pay that for the room that's connected to the venue, right? But I wouldn't know
Yeah.
that unless I lived it, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah, there's all sorts of hacks and tricks and stuff. Like when we go anywhere, we do get like a cheap room far away, but we just use like we figure out and plan for public transit if
Mm-hmm.
it's available because that's super cheap. And so if it like takes us, 45 minutes or whatever to get to the venue using public transit system, it's like that's fine. We just get to see more of the city or
Right.
or whatever. Um it's but you're right, like you do have to like go through that experience to learn it. Or like how much to bring to stuff to
Yeah,
places too. That's a big one.
totally. Travel costs and, like, paper is not light, like, I'm sure you ask anybody that ships, like, or deals with it, how much does 20 books cost or weigh or whatever? They're all going to tell you it's like, you know, that eats into you. It's like 5.6 pounds or whatever, depending on your page count or whatever. So it's like when you're trying to budget how many books and clothes and everything you're traveling, like the stresses build up. It's not to like drag down on the minutia for people for this like episode, but like that is the stuff that you have to start paying attention to. And like flying. When's it worth springing for flying business? Like for me, it's um, anything over like 3 hours, and like I gotta stretch those legs out. But if it's, like literally just a border jumper, like, suck it up and you let your knees eat the back seat for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
What we got here? Spine. But again, and it's all for the fun of it. Like it's this thing where it's like you're in the moment and you're selling books and you're like, oh shoot, I was meant to be here. This is cool. You know, People believe in me.
Yeah, that's the best part is watching people like connect with your work live and like in front of you.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's been really cool having people. Like I did two shows, like for the second time this year. I did Buffalo and Edmonton. Well, I did VonCon as well, closer to me. And like at each show, I had somebody from the previous year come back to me and say that they had just bought, tickets to see me, just me. You know what I mean? Like, and so that's super cool. And like people expressing that, like, had they not met me, they might have picked up chiasm and taken something different from it, but having connected to me was like part of the fun of reading the book. So it was
Right.
really cool. And then, wherever I go, I'm hustling on behalf of making sure that people know that Comics Wellspring is the place to get your prints done.
That's right. That's right. Sorry, I'm actually having a blast with this Riddler right now too. I like had an idea for his outfit, so I just wanted to cover it in like question marks. So I'm like color this green right now, and then I'll black all this out, and then the fucking go
At
back
least you
over it
weren't
with
just
ink.
like, I have an idea. I'm going to change the question marks to exclamation points because everybody would stop that.
He's now
What was it on Robot Chicken where it was like the Riddler and the punctuation posse?
All right.
And then there was like the comma guy. He's just like, I just want to let you know that every time I'm gonna put a pause in your stomp, Batman. It was just the worst thing in the world. Like,
That's so good.
It was a good
was so
show.
good. Yeah. Robot Chicken. That was a good conversation. I was like very invested too. That's why I didn't pop in right now.
Sure.
I was like, I'm just gonna kick back and just like let these guys rock it.
We're just riffing here. Just riffing. Couple guys. Just chilling. Doing their thing. Yeah, so it's been cool. The coolest part about this opportunity is like the setup. I feel like so it's the place where I'm at is a old converted school. I'll post like some POVs of like me walking around and doing tours later, but like um so it's very like art first, and there's cool stuff on all the walls, potentially some ghosts that follow you around. I don't know.
That's right.
And yeah, it's super cool. So I'm in a classroom, that's just designated to Doug Life, and I was like, I've got my tech behind me. I got a spot for my iPad. I picked up in Edmonton, I met this gentleman named Jeff, and he does these stands, these acrylic bases called Bridge Your Art. Shout out Jeff, Bridge Your Art, you. But what it is like he's got these wicked like acrylic bridges that like you lock onto the rails on the pad and allows you slide. So it's all about like working over top of your pencils and like eliminating the smudge and stuff. Um, and so I've been using them. So, but they're also just like super sleek, like bases to have with you whenever you're traveling. So they've got like I've got one for sketch covers and one for 11 by 17s. But instead of like finding spots in my bookcase where I have to stash them, I've got like them beside each other with space for my palettes between them. Like it's just like a luxury of space.
Getting all the tech.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's you know what? It's also just really fun to support, um, like startups that are like independently minded. Like um, this dude's Canadian. When I met him, I was like just thinking about making money at the show, so I wasn't like ready to invest or anything like that. Um, but when I got home, I was like, damn, that's a cool idea, like, and at the end of the day, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to invest in something, help somebody progress their product by giving them like honest feedback. Um, and then you might switch to something else, but like, at least you could say it's like our homie Moose. Everybody here, and probably a lot of people that are like tuned in or that have stopped in have now seen how much work Wham Stand is putting out. And like,
Dude, I just got a package from him today. I'm so excited.
yeah, guy with his bubble gum, like, um, it's it's incredible when you it's like, somebody in all of our lives gave us that green light to like chase our dream, and and like, or even if they didn't, we still did it, and somebody supported us that told us like, okay, I'm gonna keep doing this. And so like that
Yeah.
goes with ingenuity and innovation too. Like, if you know somebody that's putting something out into the universe that's cool, like sometimes like spending a day's pay on like their projects is so like it's so beneficial for the whole creator community. Um,
Speaking of creative community, Reese Jenkins says, "Awesome work, guys. What up, Reese?
Reese.
My
Reese
boy,
has potentially some of the best energy in comics.
dude. Yeah, honestly, love Reese. Love Reese so much.
Like, has anybody ever had a meeting with Reese where he doesn't like pop on the screen and you instantly just feel like you drank 9 Red Bulls?
Mhm.
Yeah, true.
So hype.
Reese.
So hype.
I think he tried to start a slow clap in a meeting once. I was like, I'm not joining, but I respect the hell out of it. One thing I'm definitely noticing being in an environment like this is just like how introverted I really am. Like I turn it on for when I'm doing events and stuff, but I'm a tough nut to crack with the social stuff. I can talk obviously, but um, I really it takes a lot to get me to open up.
Dude, you opened up so fast with me. Just spread those legs, like, bam, just dug
Oh my
knife everywhere.
Listen. That video or the picture of you creeping over my shoulder, that was not consensual.
Those are my favorite pictures ever, dude.
That's good. That's going in the back of one of my books.
It has to, honestly. It's so great. All right, I did my pencils for both drawings, and now I have about an hour and a half to finish them both. All right.
I would look, but I'm working.
I'm taking a lot of
actually-
time on these pencils today.
Who?
I'm just like okay slowing
you?
down. Yeah.
You? Yeah. Oh yeah, you are. It looks great though, dude. I did all this in such a rush. I'm hoping not to rush my inks too much.
I'm having an interesting time. Like, if I know that I'm inking it, I'm not too stressed on like the penciling process because I know that I'm gonna like get a lot of stuff as I'm going and detail it and like streamline or whatever. So I get like my bases like roughed in and then just kind of mishmash it. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a thing. Like I love sitting down and doing like some canoodling with a pencil, but like when you know that you got to blast over with ink, I feel bad spending that time like shading and establishing values and stuff because I'm the one that's reading it. If someone else is going to do it, sure, I'll paint them a beautiful picture with it, but it's just me.
Yeah, I think I'm on like some weird like mission to get better at my pencils, you know? Just so that I can like spend a little bit more time to like figure out what I want the piece to look like, how it's all gonna work together, you know?
Yeah,
And try
That's
and
where
like
I'm at. Yeah.
yeah, trying to get better at like making sure the final product is good,
right.
you know? Because I can always speed up later, you know,
Yeah,
or if I
yeah,
need to just like bang out a piece, I can do that. It's just I want to focus on also like improving and making sure that it's right.
Yeah, even with me, like I'm trying to like make sure I understand like how I'm doing it and I'm just doing it sloppily. Kind of like when I compare like pencils like to playing with like a metronome, you know? Like it's gonna lock me in on my like inking a lot more. And if I just take my time and go slow with it, the overall outcome, I understand the piece better and the movements. But I mean that's just like me learning too, you know?
right.
I'm trying to figure out best ways to approach pieces now too. I think I'm like getting a bit better through Inktober though. I've been having a blast doing it this year.
I stepped away for a second just to shoot my wife a text. But what's
You
cool
just
is
step
I
away
just
for
had
that
to roll
text?
over to my iPad because it's connected to my iMessage.
I'm gonna be
He's
breathing
in
heavy
that
when I text my
echoey
wife right
school
now.
chamber.
Yeah. Please.
Do you know what you're gonna do for metal band yet?
I don't. I was either gonna do a Lemmy piece or Metalocalypse thing. I'm
That's
thinking
fun.
Lemmy.
Ooh, guess who's back?
It's so stuffy today too. It sucks. Like it's also I'm a little quiet. I just can't breathe. You know.
That's a lot of no's to not be able to breathe.
I know, dude. It's insane. Honestly, believe me, I question it too. Like this makes no sense. Like
No sense.
no sense. You got it right.
Let's see. Kimono.
Guys are bringing Warp Tour back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I hope it's not terrible.
it's gonna be.
I mean, they're only bringing it back for 3 days, but they're bringing Warp Tour back.
Because even the people you're excited to see are way older than you think now.
Oh yeah.
Well, also it's not Warp Tour then. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just a nostalgia concert, which is like fine, I guess, but why don't we bring back like, you know, touring festivals with young bands that are trying to, you know, make it out there? Like that was the whole point of Warp Tour, you know? That's
Right.
why all those bands became successful. Was because it was about something bigger than just those bands at the time.
Well, and wasn't the draw that you could see like professional skateboarding events and stuff?
What?
was
Yeah,
What'd
I
you
think they
say?
had some raps there too. They did. Plus, that was like, living in El Paso, that was the only time I got to see a concert was like Warped Tour. And then I got to see all my favorite bands. That was the best thing about it.
For like $20 too, right? Like the tickets weren't that bad.
They weren't bad. They were not
But
bad.
the water was 90.
Nah, dude, I could go there as a kid and survive all day just fine. Like, I don't know. I went to Warped Tour so much when it was around. Like, it was heaven. I can't even express that you got to meet bands. You got to
Yeah.
I met Angels and Airwaves there, so I met Tom for the first time there. It was sick. So many things, so many cool stuff. Got to crowd surf for the first time. Carbon Dioxide says bring back Ozfest. Feel for reals though.
True.
Poor Ozzy. not poor Ozzy. Like, it's not like he's had a terrible life, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like even in his most like debilitated state, he'll still like have more value than my entire city, But
Yeah.
but like it's got to be hard aging like that, like
Yeah.
he gave his life
Body's
to
all
metal.
busted. Yeah, I mean, what a character. What a life. All those rock stars. You'll do today, K-pop junkie. Then we got some in-house chat.
It's cool
No,
that
I haven't been keeping an eye on the chat. Everybody just saying yo.
K-pop knows everybody though. Like every time she hops in, she says hi to everybody in the chat. Like I don't know some of the people in the chat, and she's just knows everybody.
Is it really Mark?
Is it really Mark?
Oh no. My perfect stroke. Oh. There we go.
What's your go-to metal band, Doug?
Ooh. That is a very tricky question. For it depends on what type of metal I feel like listening to. Recently
Name
I've
your
been
top 3.
very. What's that?
Name like top 3 metal bands.
All right, so I'll listen. What I'm listening to most regularly right now. I listen to a lot of the some Mongolian folk metal, and I listen to a lot of As I Lay Dying still. They've got a new album dropping, and I also am a recent convert to Slaughter to Prevail.
Nice.
So I like it. I like it real Cookie Monsterish,
You like Lorna Shore?
I'm sure if I heard it, I'd know, but I'm that guy where it's like if I'm not listening to it on like regular, I don't commit it. But when it comes off, it's like
They're great live.
Will Ramos from Lorna Shore has some freaking nutty vocals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so good live. I've seen them live twice. They're so great.
Back in the day, he saw the live when they were in Toronto, and it's before they were before they were doing like popular collaborations and stuff like that. And they're just like this group of like super jolly Mongolian dudes. They took pictures with everybody. Like I'm sure they're still like that, but like it's just cool. I remember him turning me on to them, and I was just like, "Oh, this is sick." And then as they got famous, like, "Oh, good for them." You feel like a proud uncle.
Oh yeah. I think I'm gonna think of a third like top metal band. But the third be Between the Buried and Me. It's definitely my number one. Mastodon. Fucking love me some Mastodon. And I'd say like Dillinger Escape Plan.
Is that metal?
Yeah.
I guess
I
that's
don't even
metal.
know. I would say pretty metal.
I'm also a big hardcore kid. When I was walking, doing a little outdoor time earlier, I was listening to some Madball. I was walking on the backside of Toronto. I grew up listening to a lot of them. Same with like Agnostic Front and that East Coast hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like at a time, it's cool because you listen to it and it takes you to a time where like you felt certain things about certain things, and then like you listen to it now and you don't feel that way anymore. But it's a type of nostalgia that you can't really replace with anything else.
Yeah, I was listening to some SoCal punk from my days in the scene today.
Yeah.
And that brought me back for sure. It was good vibes.
K-pop. We got Carbon Dioxide saying that Artist Murder is a good modern day metal too. That Artist Murder is awesome. Definitely. K-pop junkie right now. Slayer in this moment, dude. I haven't listened to in this moment in a minute. Nice, good pick. And Ramstein. I adore Ramstein. I just don't. I can't get into completely. Yeah,
You always go back to them, and you're like, oh, they're like they always kind of hit you with a new one, like a new song when you're listening to it.
And then we have the Gazette is my all-time favorite band. I gotta check them out. White Zombie, 6 Feet Under, Jungle Rot. Well, White Zombie, I love. Really good White Zombie. 6 Feet
Yeah,
Under. is cool.
I'm okay without White Zombie. It's a little too like too much of a reminder of the '90s, and they were always good. You know, the '90s were not all good for everybody. Um, I don't take away
Really
how,
hyping it.
how
Lots
good
of
they
bands I
are.
haven't heard of. I feel old. I used to listen to Slayer, Soulfly, Superjoint, Ritual,
Ooh,
System of a Down. We have a System of a Down from me.
Soulfly.
Yeah,
Back,
dude, Soulfly, right? Dude, that takes me back, dude.
back to the
Oh man,
primitive.
I'm gonna look up the album that I used to listen to from Soulfly. Gosh, I remember the cover so well.
Yeah.
Um,
See,
dude,
well,
it's gonna remind me of Williams' work. Yeah, Primitive, that one. Yeah.
yeah.
I want to add that to my list.
There's a Finnish. I think they're Finnish. They're like a Nordic hardcore like thrash metal band called Kvelertak. I used to listen to. They're super fun. They're like party hardcore, just really grimy.
I also got into like, dude, you guys should listen to the Human Abstract. The Human Abstract is one of the best bands out there. Oh no, Protest the Hero. Now it's all coming to me. I would like I blank out when I can answer it first. But dude, Protest the Hero, Tesseract. I get into a lot of proggy stuff. That's really what it is. So if you're into like proggy technical stuff, that's my alley. The Faceless, dude, the Faceless was great. Dude, but Tesseract are awesome, man. We're talking about
They're
some
called
cool
Tesseract.
rhythms. Yeah.
Like as
Oh,
in like
K-pop junkie. I saw Abstract back in '08, dude. Dude,
and
I don't know
now
if I
you're
could
a
say this
K-pop
on air.
junkie.
I own the bass of one of the bassists from the Human Abstract. Like
That's
we were buddies, and I got to buy it off him. Dude, Born of Osiris. Does Polyphia count as like a metal band? I guess. I mean, they're very yeah.
like I like Coheed. Are they metal or are they more progressive rock?
I would say they were more progressive rock. Coheed isn't. I would say metal. There's some metal flavors. Space rock,
Uh,
more prog. Oh, medieval space rock. Yeah.
I was
Um,
laughing with the gentleman that's catering the event that I'm at. We're talking about when pop goes punk. You remember that
oh
one?
yeah, yeah. Pop Goes Punk is a classic.
It's when everybody like got into like LaRue or whatever because they're listening to Static Lullaby.
Right. Yep. Yep.
You know,
Um,
I was also. I mean, I know you can. Well, I know that Max is super young blood compared to us, even though they're way smarter than all of us combined. But there's like that real like interesting techno metal fusion phase where it was like there's a band from like near me called Abandon All Ships, and they were like a group of like Italian kids that mix like hard techno dubstep with their hardcore. It was adequate. It wasn't like great now when you listen to it, but then it was new. And then there's like We Came as Romans and
oh, dude. Yeah.
where they got like the auto tune and stuff in on the voice, which was cool when they were trying it, you know. But how do you keep that fresh? That's the thing, right? Like,
Dude, there's that band, the Algorithm, and they were around like in 2008, not 2006, and they were like a techno metal band, and it was a lot. Like it was very electronic. Animals as Leaders, another top band. Sorry, I'm just like listing stuff. Animals as
yeah.
Leaders,
I went through
phenomenal.
a Seisen phase. I quite like them.
Love Seosin. I wouldn't say they're
Uh,
metal though.
no, they're like I would say they're progressive hardcore.
Like Under Oath, I wouldn't even consider metal. I just think they're like on the verge of being. I mean, you could consider them metal, but I feel like they're more on like an
There's
emo hardcore.
inspirations in there. Like As I Lay Dying, I know is classified as like new metal. Converge, stuff like that, where it's like Atreyu, the
Oh,
combination.
Atreyu. We just listened
Like,
to it recently.
But I love it. I think, like, again, I had this conversation earlier where it's just like, it's cool to be able to age into this place where my playlist now is obscene. You saw my friggin' Spotify. It's like 1 second it's decent, and then the next second it's like Pitbull with Enrique Iglesias, just because I like to dance.
Yeah.
See, I think I would be naming bands like metal bands that are older than all of these bands that you're talking about.
Probably. Like I said, you're the encyclopedia. Like,
Yeah, I'm listening to like Venom and like Napalm Death
yeah.
and like back in like
Like
I don't know, I guess it's
90s,
80s.
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, early 90s.
See, I'm going like 80s metal.
I guess young kids now are calling that the late 1900s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There's
So
a lot of
funny.
good new stuff too, though, like so I listen to a mix.
Keep up,
Lich
don't
King.
forget about Electric Cowboy. Also like the doom metal, Paul Chain, Candlemass, Saint Vitus. I've never heard of any of those.
Saint Vitus is dope. Lich King is a really good like
Oh, yeah.
throwback to classic thrash metal. Candlemass is great, yeah. Agoraphobic Nosebleed is like really good sludge. And those are two newer-ish bands.
What about Instagram proctologist?
See, I feel like I got a lot of friends. I got into that level of metal, and I adore it. I think it's awesome. I think it's one of those things where I choose like the one band that has that sound, and I'm like, all right, I'm set because they all start to blend to me.
Yeah.
But I mean that's why I fall into more of that like proggy range. Like all the bands I love the most, I feel like sound the same. Like Between the Brain and Me, like Protest the Hero, The Human Abstract, like they're all the same flavor, metal almost. Born of Osiris.
Have you seen Laura Jane Grace doing all the Op Ivy stuff?
Yes,
Cat fight?
yes,
Oh
I
my god,
love
that
it.
goes hard.
Gosh,
That goes
dude,
hard.
yeah,
That'd be
so
a good fit.
Oh yeah, she kills it. Yeah.
I don't know what Jesse Michaels is up to nowadays. I think I don't know.
I forgot. I always look it up because then I
fallen off.
forget, and I look it up every like year and a half. I'm like, why isn't he doing this again? I'm like, oh yeah, he just did a small show with Tim recently.
He did some stuff for Choking Victim too.
And they did like a whole little Op Ivy set not too long ago. Just Matt wasn't there.
I'm at the point now where I get nervous when people I love from the early 2000s, late 90s come back and do something. Because that's going to be good, but I don't know. It's aging yourself a little bit, right? Like, NoFX just like that. I think the song "Sellout's" new from NoFX. It's a fun one, but it's also old.
Well, it's like the Jane's Addiction stuff, right? Where Perry, what's his name, came back and he like had a bunch of problems and like tried to fight
Navarro.
Whatever his name is. Yeah.
I bet you just looked at him and said, "I don't like your show either." Like, bro, they're not cool. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna finish my piece today on stream.
Well, I'm almost ready to start painting.
That's unusual for me.
You're slowing down in your old age.
Bolt Thrower for best group death metal.
I was listening to some Bolt Thrower earlier.
Devil Driver.
I listened to some hard Devil Driver back in the day. I was that kid that like would put "I Could Care Less" in on my Discman and like just look at everybody on the bus like, "Fuck you all," Pardon my language, but Devil Driver brought it out in me.
It's a cool metal band with like a female vocalist that like just screams. Entheos. So tasty bass lines too, because you have Evan Brewer doing that double thumping metal bass. Dude, double thump bass on metal is just perfect. It's just the greatest thing ever.
Say
So much speed.
bait. What's a couple?
Milo would kill me if I didn't mention Sharptooth. Sharptooth is really good.
Oh, but I love Electric Cowboy. I saw them last year as well. That was great. So phenomenal.
Well, let's
For
take
our Maker's Hand. The entire album is great.
acknowledge the fact that "It's Raining Tacos" is also an awesome song.
It's beautiful.
It's only for the parents out there.
Yeah, that was awesome. I even like, Blind Guardian, Amon Amarth. You guys like
Yeah,
Amon Amarth?
I saw them.
Love.
I
I would
actually,
just like row and just like listen to Amon Amarth. I was like,
oh yeah, Ro's a good one to run to.
No, I meant like literally using a rower and listen to
Oh,
Amon
okay,
Amarth
okay.
because you're like
I
rowing.
like running to that. Put your back into the oars.
Oh.
Sick.
Yeah.
Actually, I once I just broke one of my cardinal rules. I saw them, and the dude that I went to the show with was making fun of me because I wore the band shirt to the show, and I was just like, "Whoa, why the hell do you buy a band shirt?" Like, I didn't understand. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't get it, and I don't know. Obviously, I don't resent it, but it was one of those memories where I was like, "What a stupid thing to make fun of someone for."
Do you guys have any like relics? Like your old battle jacket that you've had for years, or like
Actually,
some
I
random
do.
shirt that got thrown at you, or anything like that?
I do. So when I was in grades, okay, oh yeah, let me speak American for you guys. When I was in the sixth grade, um, the uh, the older brother of one of my sister's best, the older brother of one of my older sister's best friends saw me and he's like, oh, that kid's listening to Rancid. That's cool. So he gave me his like a raggedy old toque that's got a Rancid patch stitched on it. And like, an older kid gives you something like, I will cherish this forever. But funny, I still have this. I still have the hat. I've gone through a lot of toques, but like, I still have that thing.
That's my favorite stuff, is like the old stuff that you're like, oh man, the memories,
Yeah, I've given it to a few worthy candidates over the years, and like they've proven like unworthy for it. So I'll take it back. Like, give me that.
That's so funny.
You're gonna leave that hat at school. You are not fit to wear it.
I'm not going to finish both these this night. Well, at least not on air.
I'm spending more time washing this than I should. I should just jump into.
I'm spending all my time just doing the logo. I should not do this first.
I should have used something to color this all black first, to be honest, and then just gone over it with white out. But I just kind of want to color it in a bit by hand. I'm using a marker. I could use a faster tool, but
yeah, the faster way to do this would have been to just black everything out and then go in with the Presto pen and then cut back into it.
In the interest of this being a show brought to you by Comics Wellspring, I gotta say I was showing some folks one of my most recently printed books, and I don't know what happened, but like there's a quality shift in the like magazine stock where it got like this really nice like dimple texture to it. Like the ink is almost like I guess it's got like that real like printed feel. I don't know. It's tough to explain, but like you stack it up compared to prints that I had from like 3 years ago, and like I don't know, it's something happened. Maybe I just clicked a button, but I'm all about that paper quality.
So over at the comic book making factory, we're always looking into the best ways to give creators the coolest stuff in the universe. So we just worked some magic over the last few months. So we're glad that you've taken notice.
Yes, indeed.
It's my
I'm
professional
still waiting
response to
for
that.
Mr. Miyagi to hand deliver my books when I order them, though.
Be amazing.
I told customer service I'm willing to pay for it. They're like, it'll be $45,000 for him to leave his house. And I was like, oh.
Oh, we
Well,
appreciate that, K-pop junkie. I always send a bunch of deets away. Thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, I mean everything's really up to speed now. We're doing new stuff. We're actually taking in beta testers this next week or two for a new website. So if you're gonna make a place an order, hit me up and I can get you to beta test our new website. That'd be cool. I usually get on the wait list to beta test it. If you're
who I think I know is doing it.
What? Oh, Weber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a name in case it wasn't him, and then it was like.
I mean, it's a very. I don't know if anyone would even catch that.
I know, but still, like, if in the off chance that he watches it, I don't want to be like.
Weber doesn't watch our stuff.
He's a C.
It'd be nice if he did.
He's like a HGTV guy.
Yeah.
Just wants to see the Property Brothers crush. he's like a pretty heavy metal head, right? Like, I feel like even just hearing that, he'd be like screaming at the computer, "That's not me!" So one of those dudes that I gotta give credit to, that's a friggin' assassin with the one brush, is Mike Ruth. Every time he posts something, I'm just like, need to do better. But he's got some really cool stuff, like doing turtles, and did like a Turtles Master of the Universe cover, and like he's in it. He's in the like the heat of it, but like it shows. Like his work is so cool. It's like, there's artists now where it's like, I, I don't know, like Max, have you experienced that thing where it's like you've noticed that your barometer of like what really like takes your breath away is kind of shifting as you like as you learn how to make the sauce, so when something really impresses you, it's because it like appeals to something so different that like either you can't do or is outside of your wheelhouse, or like it's something that you've never learned how to do.
Yeah, or I find that like certain people are really good at certain things, you know?
Yeah.
So um like I think Danny Warren Johnson, like his like I'm not very impressed by like his rendering, or things like that. But what
Mhm.
I'm really impressed by is his ability to just whip up amazing compositions on everything, And I'm like,
Yep.
that's what's amazing about what you do. I think and then there's other people that I'm like, just the innovative techniques like Jason Sean Alexander,
Yeah.
the way he like mixes mediums is amazing. Um, but there's certain people who do things really clean, and I think that
Yeah.
that's really cool. There's certain people who like just render absurdly well, and I'm like, that's really cool. Or certain people that are really good with ink wash, but you get the point,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. For sure.
usually it's not that one artist blows me away in all aspects. It's that there's
Something.
certain things that that person is really good at doing.
They got the energico. That's a reference to an obscure Dana Carvey movie. I apologize. Yeah. And it happens, and it's like I think doing the conventions is crazy. Like very cool because you know in terms of like the fake it till you make it. When you're working and that person's just down the hall from you. Like at some point you realize that they were doing the same thing that you're doing. Yeah. And then what's also crazy, like you see New York Comic Con is such a stacked roster that like there's dudes that are like, honor status pros at like other conventions, and they're in Artist Alley at this one. Like it's kind of bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah, like Ben Templesmith was just chilling at Artist Alley when I went to San Diego.
Yeah.
And I was like, what
Oh
the hell are
yeah,
you doing over
yeah.
here?
Yeah. It's a. That's a game that like I don't know. I like I like the hustle, but it's just like I just don't like being rejected. You know, not that anybody does, but um, I don't know. It'll be cool. It'll be cool one day when like we're all at the status where they're just like, you know, taking commissions 9 by 12, $9,000.
I hope to never be like that, honestly.
Oh, I
You know?
know. Me too. I I've really so I got to one of the other cool things that I've done recently was I got to teach an art lesson for other low vision kids at the CNIB, which is the Canadian National Institute for the Blind. They have like these community hubs, so I got to go to a community hub and teach other kids experiencing low vision, um, and like it was like just such a trip to like hang out with like a mini Doug who like has one of the little dudes is just like I've got shaky eyes. And I was like, dude, me too. And like to be able to connect and like it's just something very cool. Like it's such a niche opportunity. And to like just really think about like, here I am talking to you. People always say like, what would you tell yourself if you go back in the past? I actually got the chance to like go back, to my past and give them advice. And unfortunately, you can't invest in Apple now, but these kids can sure draw a damn skeletal structure like champs. You know,
Yeah.
So
so dope.
You know how life-changing it would have been to me to like just get anybody from the comics field to do like a workshop with?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't happen. It just doesn't.
I think now it does. It's just a matter of who it is, right? Like you look at some of
Well,
like I mean, that's definitely what I want to be able to do. Is I want to be accessible for everybody. Not just like marginalized communities or like or minority communities or anything. Like I want to be, I want to go do school tours where it's just like let's draw for the day. Like part of that is going to be making the space and finding the grants to be able to do it and stuff like that. But I think that just like there's more to it than a major publisher. That just helps you get through the door on some other stuff, right?
yeah.
I think I'm pretty happy with this split. I'm going to keep messing around with it. It's going to get mucky.
Yeah, I think more what I mean is that like comics is not like very commonly taught,
Right.
It's
Yeah.
usually something that is self-taught that you like fall into. Which is like cool, but I wish that there was a wider appreciation for it that um you know you would be in high school and you could still have like a comic artist show up and like teach you something.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what like going to be what we're going to be doing in like 5 years, basically.
Well, yeah,
We're
I
going to
mean
be
that's what
finding the ones pioneering.
yeah, that's what we wanted, so we're gonna try and do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's progression and growth is a very cool thing. You can either be stagnant and not embrace the change that the world has, or you can be on that wave, and people will remember that when it comes time to for them to select who like their heroes are. It's not going to be the guy that you can't reach their office because they're insulated by so many personal assistants. It's going to be the guy that like came to your school and showed you how to make fingers fing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So my birthday, humble brag, was not long ago, and
Happy
my
birthday.
kids and my mother-in-law got me some Amazon.
I was
gift
like, when
cards.
was your birthday? I feel so bad, but I said happy birthday.
You did. You wrote actually one of the nicest messages I got, and I got a lot of nice messages. But my kids treated me to some Amazon gift cards, so I loaded up on this beautiful set of watercolor paints. So
Oh, sick.
yeah, this has been one of my favorite things that I've like forced myself to learn over the last 6 months is like the dry like watercolor pan thing used to intimidate the crap out of me. But now it's just like, as you know, it's easier than pencil crayon, really. But I know that's a lot of talk for me to start this and then start screwing it up instantly. But yeah, like, it's just that battle for the analog. You know, like I love my iPad. I love what it's been able to do. But like, you know, when I had the sample script, like my idea, I, I penciled everything by hand because I really like pencil on paper. And then I inked it by hand because I wanted to, like, um, I figured at the very least, like, if they see it, like, sick, this guy's got potential, that's cool. If they see it and they're like, probably should have digital inked that, then I'll just note that for next time, right? Like, but if you don't have fun and if it doesn't translate that you're having fun, then why are you doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna try my first painted cover pretty soon.
Nice.
Ooh.
So that's gonna be fun.
So news to everybody. Max is about to outperform everybody on his first painting.
Straight up.
We'll see.
Oh,
I
look at that. Come on.
I'm gonna try acrylics.
Yeah.
It's what I have. I have oils, but I just can't be bothered,
Listen, the good news is you're young enough that if you start an oil painting now, you'll finish it by the time you're 50.
I know. I've done one painting in the last year, and it was of a blueberry bush. And that was fun. And so I want to try doing a painted cover of, characters and things that I want to do. So
Again, you say I did a painting of a blueberry. It was probably so good that it attracted the bear that you're able to hunt and then like feed your whole community with.
no, the poor bears. They do demolish our trash cans though, but no.
I can't
That would
even
hurt.
like come up with us too. It's like that's not a thing for us.
No, yeah, everybody here has to ratchet down their trash cans to keep the bears out, and then usually the bears just like toss your trash can to the side and then still get into it anyways.
The bears have real up yours attitude.
Yeah. Well, they're just hungry,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
it is a nuisance. It's like, dude, really?
Yeah, that's how you know when you're a local is when you trash talking a bear as it like sloths off your property. Come on, man.
Literally, that's what happens here.
I remember a friend of mine from high school. I think it was his grandma had a coffee shop out there, and he was saying that one day he was there and um, he just heard like his grandma swearing and then a huge shotgun blast, and she comes back in cussing. He's like, "What just happened?" She says something like "polar bear, little buggers." He was just so surprised by like the casual nature that his grandma just shot at a bear with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Reminded me of
People,
like
I don't
Napoleon
know.
Dynamite.
There's less shooting at bears now and just being like, "Hey, shoot,"
Yeah. Well, I mean
'Cause-
this was back in the early 2000s, so things have
yeah.
changed.
Well, we also live in like a relatively civilized area, and like the bears here aren't like aggro. Like we don't have grizzlies here. It's just black bears. So
Okay.
they're
They're
pretty
kind of like
small.
big old raccoons, right? That'll eat your face if you make them mad.
Well, they'll eat your face, and they're very big, but they aren't exactly like aggressive,
Right.
you know.
I kind of like this unburnt sienna, and unburnt umber. These are fun colors.
I've never heard of those.
I think it's like just regular. It's cool. It's less toasted. It's like more of a like this washed out to be more almondish, and less of like that
Oh,
the warm
uh-huh.
hue.
Huh.
So I'm just trying to mess around with it. It's neat seeing it's kind of painted like the watercolor paint as you get like a mastery of like the washing of it and stuff is really cool because it really feels like you're like illustrating digitally, like with the multiply layer on. You know, you like brush over your wash and just like all of a sudden that color is just the darker version of it. Like, yay!
Yeah.
I didn't break it. I think I got it. You got like a little pink tail, right? That's par for the splinter course. I'll give him a little pink tail. I will say this is a low vision problem. These little like the darker colors on the watercolor pans are so hard for me to pick up. Like blue through purple through green are just write-offs for me. As soon as they lighten up, it gets easier. But if you guys see some color deviations, it's not an artistic choice. I'll say it is, and you guys will know the truth. You and the internet, you'll all know the truth.
Nobody will know.
It's like what I like about listening to like the big podcasts when people like speaking all candidly, like nobody's listening. Between you and me. Like, oh hush. I feel like Splinter would be the one that would have like the full like Irizumi bodysuit. He just takes off his robe and he's like got all his hair shaved because he's got full like tattoos.
Yakuza suit mode.
What's that?
Yakuza suit, like a full Yakuza suit.
I think it's cool that David Lee Roth from Van Halen has the full setup. Like he spent time in Japan getting it done and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. Let's see how this will paint. Sometimes I feel like Bob Ross. Well, it's going to be dark, but we're going to wash it. We're going to pull it out. Oh, yeah. Pinky.
My dad's getting there on his Yakuza suit.
Yeah?
Yeah, he doesn't actually want one, but he's
Just
getting
filling
one.
up.
Yeah.
Is he on the West Coast?
Yeah.
There's I mean, tattooing in terms of like how accessible it is now. There's some incredible artists everywhere.
Yeah. Well, he got all his tattoos on the West Coast. No, he's got a few from the East Coast, but he travels back and forth for work.
There's a Canadian tattooer that has shops out in, I believe, the Bay Area. His name's Adam Sky, but then he just like goes on these crazy epic motorcycle trips up to Vancouver, and like he's got like that career where he just shows up and people just come to get tattooed by him, even though it's been 8 years since they've seen him or they've been waiting for him and shit. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I brought with me like a ton of sketch covers. I've got a 1-day convention coming up, put on by my favorite LCS, Wayside Comics. I'm doing that on October 27th up in Newmarket, Ontario. If there's any Canadians floating around still.
Nice.
And and the sketch covers have been selling so good at shows. It's
You've been
not
killing
just
it
like
with
the
those.
sale part of it. It's just really cool to like, nothing makes you feel special like someone seeing one of the characters that have a recognizable brand, and then they're like, you did that good enough for me to buy it off of you, and then like the hype that like you get out of it. It's very cool, very vindicating,
Oh yeah. That's so sick, dude. Yeah, you've been doing so much better on those. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Out of the batch that you had in Buffalo, do you have any more of those left, or did you sell the Planet of the Apes one?
No, I still have that kicking around.
Oh, really?
About
That's
to put
insane.
about to put it to my dollar bin.
So
No,
super
that's
good.
kind of the cool thing too. Is it's like the older something is, the less I care if I have it anymore. Because
Little weights,
everything that I've
little
done since
tweaks
then
are
is like
important.
so much considerably better. So when I put that like new price tag on the better stuff, it kind of devalues the older stuff a little bit. So
Yeah.
it's cool to like lower it, and then when someone does take it, it's a fun photo op, and then it's off to a new home.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, the apes is a cool one.
I love that one so much.
And then the other thing, the other hustle too is I still want to get. I've decided that like the book that I send off to Four Colors, your favorite
Yeah.
LCS, is just going to be something that I pull because I love all of them, but I don't want to like sit down and focus on one for it, because then I feel like it's like you're misappropriating what the importance of it is. Like it's supposed to feel like you did it to sell it.
Mhm.
So instead of just like pulling one and being like, this is for the kids, because then it's gonna
Oh
like
yeah.
it'll guide how you do it, and like I don't want
Yeah.
that to be the factor.
Makes sense. I have to see what you do there.
Well, it's gonna be cool. You just wait. A lot of brown tones going on in here.
Oh. I think I'm done with this alien for. No, I need to add some like.
If you're frustrated with it, it probably means you're at the halfway point.
Yeah, we're not frustrated with it. I just like. What is Tyler? No, I'm not feeding you.
One of my friends and clients is a woman who's a little older, a little long in the tree branches, if you will. And she's got a cat that she won't let outside anymore. It used to be just like a freewheeling like neighborhood bully, but now she's got it inside all the time. And so the only way to like keep it inside and happy is by feeding it. So this cat, I've watched it gain easily like 3 pounds over the last like 4 months.
That is amazing. Oh, I gotta add more black actually. I don't know if I eat that. Damn, that's just gonna be great.
I think I need to rest on Splinter here. I think I'm at a point where I got to think of some clever color combos, and I'll come back to it. Oh, I'll do the pommel. I'll do the hilt. I'll do the sword.
What time are we at?
We are at 8:30.
Okay.
I've got other stuff I can work on. We can keep this party going. I'm just saying. I think like Splinter, I'm at the point. I've come to realize that like sometimes like pushing for that finish on something doesn't make it good. It just means that you finished it, so you could say you did it, right?
Yeah.
So the patience point that I'm learning is like, if I've got other stuff that I can work on, go focus on that for a little bit, and then come back to this once I'm like, back into it. It's like
That makes sense.
it's like Tom DeLonge and Blink 182.
Right.
But that halfway point, I don't know. What point do you get to a piece, Max, where you're like, oh, life sucks. So you have to tell your push through to get to the next level.
Probably a quarter of the way through inking.
Okay.
Because then I have like just enough inked that I'm the rest of it looks like garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that if I just keep putting pen to paper that something will come out.
Totally.
And then there's a last 10% push as well. That's
Yeah.
a lot of that time is like staring at the piece, being like, what does it need where? And like, oh, you're only adding like maybe a few marks.
Right.
That's also like a little frustrating because you're like, something's not right.
Yeah. And yeah, I would say that's probably in line. I think for me it's like that. Um yeah, I think it's that color point where like, just making sure. I think it's the base layer. Like once I'm like highlighting on flats and stuff like that, like that's when I start really getting discouraged because things just don't have the full value or the range of like dynamicism that I strive for and everything. So you like kind of woe was me on your life a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
but I think that's just like again, that's part of that like next level thing is when you know that you're good. It's just a matter of like this is just how you. It's like people that can predict when they start feeling low because the weather's changing. Like that it's going to be just a rough couple hours, and then you're going to get through, and then you like not going to look at it for 3 months, and then you look at it later, and be like, oh yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it's definitely gotten easier to be like, well, I know like what it's gonna look like in the end, so I can keep going.
Yeah,
But
That's what
it
I'm
certainly,
fucking finding out too. Because I get this really, especially doing Inktober every day, it's like really discouraging with some stuff. And then you're just like, you just got to keep shaping it. And it'll, and then you're like, oh wow, this did work. Holy crap.
yeah,
yeah. Or it doesn't work and you just move on with your life.
yeah.
Yeah. Then you're like, well, I learned that doesn't work, and I gotta work on this apparently. Take a different approach.
The other like last night, I was sketching the Spider-Man painting that I did this morning at the dinner table with the group here, and one of the people that are participating saw it, and they were like, oh, that's really cool. I love the motion. I can't wait to see what it looks like. But they apologize because like they're eating breakfast and they communicate with sign language. So they're like I didn't want to touch it because I didn't want to get marks on it. And like I just picked it up and I tore the corner off in front of them.
Yeah.
And their face was just like they're like, why would you do that? Like, because it's just paper. Like, I appreciate the courtesy that you're giving me, but I'm showing you that like if something happens to it, it's a rough sketch. It's not something that I'm married to. Um, and I think that's a really healthy attitude to have with it because when you goof up on something or if it's not your best, there's going to be another one. And if there isn't another one, then you quit. And quitters are, there's no the only people that should quit are smokers. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
That
Yeah.
happens to me all the time. I will like pick up a piece and like try and show somebody the piece and they're like, "Oh, I'm afraid my hands aren't clean and
yeah,
whatever." And I'm like, "I could give less of a rip." Like
yeah,
honestly, I'm just trying to show you my work. Like you
yeah.
can just look at it, touch it, feel it, like, you
Connect
know.
to it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
really not a big deal.
And I think that like when I don't know, it's like it's even comics. Like I love making comics, but like the pressure of like the collector and stuff of like oh, I don't want to touch it and stuff like that. Like I don't know. We're only a couple you know layers away from this being toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like if the world goes to spit, like we got toilet paper. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to stay humble about what it is, and when people see that you approach it with that casual, enjoyment, then it makes it easier for them to utilize it as such.
My left hand damaged my white out.
Was that?
I dipped my hand in the whiteout I was using because it's
Uh,
lefty and I started from the left.
did I ever
Yeah,
tell you
I'm a
guys?
little worried because I don't know where my whiteout went.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh, dogs, yeah.
oh, that
Uh, so we'll see.
sounds like a Milo issue.
No, It's because I moved my desk.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna tilt this, and my camera might look a little weak for a second while I go look in a drawer.
All right. I'm cooling it on Splinter. What do you think there, Brandon?
Move it to the right just a little bit. Your camera. No. Okay, to your left. My bad. There you go. Oh, it's so sick, dude. That's dope.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, I just wrapped up my avian. I'm done with avian now.
All right,
In fact, let me give you a spotlight on your
Oh,
Splinter.
I'll show you the space where I'm at too.
Yeah, let's put a spotlight on you.
Give you the tour. So this is what I've got to create with for the next week and a half.
Hey, it looks just like my studio, except
That's
way cleaner.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to change that. And then this is what I finished today.
Nice.
And yeah, so I got the tech set up, I got all the gadgets, but like it doesn't, it doesn't seem like much, but then like to the creator that is like limited to a coffee table or a, kitchen table, you get here, you feel like you're in Step Brothers. There's so much activity space.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry for the fingers on the screen there. Let's see what Brandon did.
I did this little alien. I might just go like that. I did the cool little some whiteout alien there. See if I can
Sweet.
zoom in a little bit.
Have you considered?
No, I haven't. I'll tell you that right now.
I'll tell you this right now, young man. No, it's just like instead of whiteout, like have you thought about thinking of whiteout as like your last resort, and then exercising like black placement before you have to use whiteout?
What do you mean? Sorry, I was also feeding my cats at the same time. And I was listening to the process. So what were you saying?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that you've got like when I started drawing and illustrating and stuff like that, like whiteout wasn't even a consideration for me. But I think that because you have such an informed knowledge of the making of comics, whiteout's like something you knew to get. So like I feel like, do you plan your piece knowing that you can work in reverse over it, or would you ever like consider like planning it so that you don't need whiteout?
I like messing with the whiteout just because
Okay.
I like it's a fun tool I'm just playing with because I just got it, so I'm learning how to use it. So I'm playing with that. But no, it's helping me visualize it because I'm trying to like do that, like just black it all out, and then maybe I could use whiteout or something like that,
Right.
But I just think it's a fun thing to see how I could utilize for Inktober. I'm trying a bunch of stuff too, and that's where I'm doing the coloring and all that. So yeah, very experimental right now.
Awesome.
But yeah, like when I use the whiteout here, that was like kind of intentional, but unintentional. Like I didn't need to do the curvy dots like that. It just kind of happened that way.
Mm-hmm.
But I just was gonna do the lightning thing. That's something I'd originally mapped out. But yeah.
Awesome. And what whiteout are you using?
Yeah. Oh, I'm just using the Pesto.
Cool. I like I had a buddy who like does exclusively Posca art with the acrylic markers, and I was like crying the blues to him. He's like, "No, man, you're just not being patient enough with it. You gotta really shake them, and you gotta let them make their way to the tip of the marker." And once I did that, the application got way easier for like doing my white highlights and stuff. But that's like a whole different world, is the Posca markers.
Yeah, that's what I got right now to play with, and it's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them a whole lot. I'm gonna do that with the Riddler. That's what I'm gonna do. So I planned this out. So for the Riddler, and so I'm gonna green him out completely, and then I'm gonna go back over it with ink.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wicked. It's really
Yeah.
cool seeing you at a phase of play and experimentation to like see what your working method is and stuff. It's cool because it's like everybody, there's so many people in the group that are just like established now, right? Like they just have their thing, they know it works, and they go with it. So seeing you in like your renaissance has been very fun for I think a lot of people.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's
Not
fun.
welcome.
Just I'm playing with like tools. Like you're just seeing, okay, what is I don't. It's like when I would try to figure out like what pedals are the pedals that work for me. What's my bass head like? What sound am I going for? What basses do I like and not like? Things like that. That's how I view artist toolery.
Hey, I'm gonna incorporate a little bonus section into this building. I'm gonna start working on the next thing.
Oh, I think I'm trying to play this.
Did you guys see my poll on this one? Do I do the full wrap, or do I just do the cover?
I do the full wrap, dude. Full wrap.
Yeah, you gotta do the whole thing.
I think I'm gonna.
Jesus Christ. Man, I feel like I fed them too early. They were like getting fussy though. It's gonna work.
The person at the studio behind me is some hardcore jazz right now. I'm feeling it. All the like freeform drumming.
Love it.
So it was cool. I'm not a big boat person, so it was cool taking a ferry, like, and watching the city shrink. Not too much, but it still shrinks like behind you.
Yeah.
Like a whole different perspective. Felt very like, I know it's redundant to say New York because I'm in Toronto, but like I feel like that's the experience.
That's adorable.
Are you just like not a big boat person? Like you don't like being on a boat, or?
No, I just don't have a lot of experience with it.
Ah, okay.
Listen.
Not all of us grew up around water, Max.
What?
It's like not all of us grew up around water, Max. In the desert. Been on like 3 boats my whole life, dude.
Well, I just didn't know if he was like afraid of the ocean. Or
No. Well, yeah. Well, I respect water for being the thing that's gonna there's no stopping it, but I'm not like, there's no phobia that prevents me from like enjoying the benefits of technology.
Right.
Boating.
Yeah, no, like it's just a matter of like, it's just I've never really needed to come to Toronto Island, right? So this is like a thing to like push me. Like I think what's really cool about it is it really seals off like the trifecta of how much traveling I've done this year, where it's like I've now been on planes, automobiles, and boats. Like
there you go.
I'm regular old John Candy over here. But yeah, it's cool. There's been so many opportunities this year where like I'm just like, dude, I'm doing it, doing that hustle, I'm going to places. There's going to be people there that I get to interact with,
Yeah, even if you're going to Ketchikan, you have to take a boat no matter what.
I love boats. These boats are cool.
Yeah, you can fly here, but you have to take a ferry across to our island.
That's really cool. And then what about for work every day? Do you have to catch a boat or do you work there?
No, I work. The town is on the island. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the airport is on a different island.
Yeah, I remember you guys moved out there. It was like a pretty lengthy process just to like settle, right? Like there's were you traveling like for you went to Seattle or something like that as a stopover, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. We drove up to Seattle to Bellingham and then took a ferry to Ketchikan. So we didn't fly in when we moved here.
But you still needed to take the boat. It's cool. It's something I know it's like so many people take it regularly. Like there are people that live on Toronto Island and stuff, and like even the people that are at the residency that like are here regularly enough, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna hop on the boat. I'm like, I still am of that mindset. Like I feel like I'm like locked to this island, and like I can't get back on the boat until I have to. Like, but it's only like it's a $10 boat ride, right? Or it's actually free for me because I'm registered with the CNIB. But like, you know what I mean? It's just this weird mental game where it's like because it's so new, I feel like, naively confined to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a haunted lighthouse not far from me.
That's
No.
dope.
I'm not into the paranormal, natural stuff, but so cool.
Is it Do you believe in it or do you just not like to mess with it?
I think I just have different informed perspectives on, not informed, but different, like, personally formulated perspectives on, like, before, after, and, like, what sticks around. And so, like,
Uh
I don't really
yeah.
think that things are designed to, like, scare the crap out of you or anything. I just think that I mean, especially if history and the news has taught us anything over the last couple of years, there's horrible stuff there. And, you know, I think that it's like, it's a resonance that that lingers that lets you know like how awful those were, and that's like universally just something that happened. So it's like instead of thinking that it's evil or whatever, it's just like there's evil in the world, and sometimes it gets left behind, and I don't know, just warning signs, like don't sleep here. All right, it feels weird. It feels weird, But I think that like if you can't if you can't explain um like aliens and stuff like that, it's tough to really come up with like a perfunctory explanation for um, an after when there's no saying that there's no cross dimensional travel or anything. You know what I mean? Like who's to say?
Yeah. I don't think that anything is like inherently malicious, right?
Yeah,
I think that it's leftover energy, but I think that that energy can be good and bad. Right.
yeah. I think that like on a supernatural level, one of the um, I guess like just formations that I've had is like that the people that are important to you leave such a strong impression that that's the voice that you hear in your head, and that also translates in like how when you have a loved one or a partner and like you guys finish each other's like sentences and stuff, right? Like that's because you form like this connection that is like deeper than you could ever imagine. So if you're connected to that person so deeply, like when you hear their voice and they're not there, you're still hearing like the impression that they left on you. Like so that's what I believe in, and it's just like sometimes people leave an impression on an environment, and
Yeah. The universe is weird.
universe like completely separate from science and all that stuff. Like I've had a lot of fun embracing the fact that like the randomness at which we exist is absolutely incredible, and just to like appreciate the fact that like the three of us currently are like specks compared to something, and we're monoliths compared to something else, but we're all spinning at like 655 miles an hour around an impossibly hot burning gas thing. Like it's just like when you really put it all in perspective how crazy what existence is, it's like just enjoy making art and having a good family, Like
Yeah.
if there's an after, cool. If there isn't, whatever. I just like I want to enjoy everything now, you know. Make money doing things that I love. Make friends who like doing similar things that aren't bad influences and stuff, and raise humans that want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
then, or have pets or whatever. Like, just enjoy it. Just enjoy it and be grateful. Like, there's other places in the earth, really, really not great places to be right now if you're someone that just wants to make art. So again, I'm just I exercise gratitude and just the fact that I'm here and I'm doing this, and we're all here together doing it, and we're all safe. And my biggest stress right now is that my wife forced me to take the time to progress my art while she holds it down with our little crazy people, you know?
Yeah.
Love it.
Like,
C. Kim Craig K says Douglas.
say Craig CK?
C.
Indeed.
Kim Craig K. What do you? That 2 arms. Tunes in
So,
all the time. I'm surprised we haven't heard from Rad Art and Comics. That dude's been like killing it lately. You guys doing awesome pieces. That it is.
I love Craig. Craig owns the shop that I've got my stuff set up, but moreover, is a very good friend of the great and powerful Eli Schwab.
Ooh, my boy
and
Eli.
From Cosmic Lion. And
I love Eli, dude. We just sent each other cat pictures like for like 2 months. We didn't even send like a message. It was just cat pictures back and forth, like at random.
Yeah, Craig is like a dude that's built businesses in like one of the toughest cities in Ontario, hands down. And so he's learned how to deal with like the most different people. Let's say it that way. And so like the exterior that he presents is he gives off very hard, like not today vibes. But he's absolutely one of the nicest people that I've had enter my sphere of knowing. And yeah, I consider myself fortunate. He did Next Panel Press, where he gives everybody an opportunity to run bi-monthly strips that are involved, and that's a really cool community.
Yeah, next panel's my peoples, Rick Lopez and Adam Linda.
Yeah, Suze is in there.
Love those guys.
J. Rome.
Dude, Rick Lopez is my goat. Boy, I love Rick Lopez so much.
Yeah, J. Rome Cabanatan. There's but like again, and that's that indie comic space where everybody's just a little bit closer than you think. I like to think that I united everybody, in Doug we trust.
Yeah.
But but it's a thing where it's like there's so many cool people in the comics industry, and it's like I even just remember like realizing like Craig was a comic guy, like, oh cool, so I even just like having a friendship with dudes like that, like I don't tattoo a lot anymore, and like instead of stressing about the fact that like I'm not making money hand over fist for people, not that I ever did, but the pressure's not there, because when they call or reach out, it's not to give me crap for not like being in trying to drag up business that doesn't exist for me right now. It's they're cheering me on because I see that I'm really pushing it to chase my dream and stuff. And again, it's like it's that thing where it's like when people see that you're on the grind, like there's so much support that comes with it, and positive reinforcement.
That PMA.
PMA. I'm gonna listen to some H2O tonight. I tell you what.
Oh, boy, I colored it.
finished.
No, I just got used.
So you finished?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Oh, you finished? Oh, let's spotlight it. Let's spotlight it. Wait. C. Kim Craig K says, "Kind Doug, thank you. I'm blessed to have met you and call you my friend. Much love."
And
Yeah, he gives you shout outs all the time.
Craig. Oh,
Boom.
that's sick.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
I'm sure I'm gonna do some touch ups here and there, but I got most of it in there.
All the time on that
Nice.
lettering paid off though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did. Yeah, hands down. That looks amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Dope.
What a buzzer beater with 7 minutes to spare, you little efficient engine.
I know, right?
I actually finished on time this time and not early.
All that stressing, you're just sleeping on it.
Dude, that Spawn's looking so sick. I love Spawn with like the horned crown.
Well, this is going. I've got him with the 9-inch nails through his hands.
Nice.
So this is like Spawn Stigmata, and I got like the angel wings. So it's gonna be like the fallen angel Spawn. But I decided today that I'm gonna use one of my 11 by 17 fancy watercolor sheets to do like another really nice like angel Spawn, because I remember that was like that's one of my favorites, the angel Spawn. So I do some angel Spawn art. Big old wings.
Nice.
Nice enough for now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Until I get that Spawn track. Do you know what I'm
Hit up our boy Thomas Healy.
saying?
Gotta get with Thomas.
Listen, I message people on a regular basis.
Thomas is such a good guy. I love that guy so much. He get back to the show. So I colored this Riddler. I'm gonna black out. Oh, I'm gonna add the question marks in the body and give some texture, and I'm just gonna black everything out. So I'm gonna make it like have the question marks hang off, so it'll be all black. It'd be cool. Okay.
It's great.
That was there. And then I get yeah, and then Alien wrapped up. That's nice. That was fun. It's cool.
That's cool.
Nice little just playing catch up.
Good.
There's a fun little notebook to be thrashing down on for doing small drawings, but just trying to like experiment and have fun.
Yeah.
All these have been great.
Everything that you do that puts time into developing what you want to do is time forward. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Doing it.
I know. Maybe when you're done with Inktober, you can draw your own comic book, huh, Brandon?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that'll be 2025 Spilled Ink. I'm just gonna make a comic every week.
Yeah.
Just a strip.
Just a strip. Strip every week. Every episode. Max and I will just cry every episode.
Max
Yeah.
Well, guys, I mean, we can stop here if you guys want. I don't know if we're going for the last 4 minutes as we if you guys are wrapped up. I'm at a good pausing point at this point. Or blacks.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good yeah, cool. Do a little FaceTime with the
do your shout outs.
Yeah, do your shout outs, Doug.
Check me out on CrossEye Comics on Instagram. I somehow just got a huge boost in people adding me to Facebook, that we all have mutual friends and they're all like comic book people. So you can add me on Facebook, Doug Knight. I'm happily drawing in my profile picture. We can talk if you want to do so. Yeah, buy me a coffee. That's how I'm raising money to send books to kids in hospitals. I got White Cell Squadron. We're like 40% to my funding goal on that. And that's a real casual, place to not stress about like reaching a goal by whenever. Like when I get my goal, then I'll, send it over to Comics Wellspring and print books and get them out there. So you want to support, go to Buy Me a Coffee. You can also commission me off of there and a bunch of other cool stuff. So Instagram, Buy Me a Coffee, make more comics and get your stuff printed with Comics Wellspring.
Love it. Max, would you do some shout outs?
Yeah. First of all, go check out Lust Hag on on Instagram, Bandcamp, whatever. Really cool, one woman black metal, really awesome. But you can find me at Art of MF on Instagram, and you can go check out Bubbles on lesserknowncomics.com, which is essentially a one location neon queer horror story based on true events. So yeah, you can go check that out now.
I will do a quick shout out. I don't have, I need to put flyers next to me. Maybe I don't have anything around me, but you know, like, go check out the Policy Comics Instagram, where we have 2 Kickstarters coming up. We have the Remainders with John O'Burke and Karen Quinn launching November 5th. And then we have the Horror Anthology, which you could, is launching in February. It's over 100 pages of amazing, just horror, fun, fan film formatted insanity with Jade Lowder. So yeah, check that out. And of course, you know, keep up with Comics Wellspring. We have 2 new episodes of Inspired Ink coming out every Tuesday. Our new show Spotlights, where we want to interview and give all of our creators their 15 minutes of fame so they can talk about what they do in their projects and Kickstarters. We're going to be, you know, hitting those really hard over the winter. So yeah, keep up with all of our channels. We have announcements. You know, our bookstore is actually closing down for renovations. It's gonna stop sales, I believe, on December 15th. But we're not taking in any more books. And there's an email that went out. And if you need more information, just hit up sales@comicswellspring.com. But yeah, just lots of new updates. We have we're doing beta testing for the website. So if you guys are placing an order within the next week or 2, hit me up. We'll put you on the list for the beta test. And glad I got my Apollo announcements out of the way. Actually, Apollo City Comics is coming back with the podcast, so you know, keep an eye out for that.
Sweet, you actually gonna interview me this time?
Nah.
Okay. I said all I had to say.
But yeah, Apollo City Comics is coming back. We're doing a new show, new format. It's going to be wild. So that'll come out on Halloween, on our 6th birthday. Really happy for everything that Apollo's done over the past few years. So super hyped. But other than that, guys, thanks for hanging out. What's my slogan? Thanks for hanging. Stay creative and stay inspired.
Stay inspired.
All right. Love you.